Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Kat Zingano to defeat Ronda Rousey. I'm here to talk about Joe Pyfer versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. Abdul Razak Alhassan is 38 years old now, 12-5 as a pro, and he's given up 4 inches of height and 2 inches of reach to 27-year-old Joe Pyfer, who is 11-2. Pyfer has 8 TKO victories, 2 submissions, and 1 decision, and his 2 losses come one by TKO, really, and 1 by submission. And then he was beaten by decision as an amateur once, in which he was just straight up out wrestled. But the 2 losses, one of them is an injury to Dustin Stoltzfus. That was where he posted his arm like Shogun did at Pride 31 and slammed and broke his arm off a slam from Dustin Stoltzfus. And the other loss was to Jonathan Patti, this guy who's a capable brawler and a good, brawling journeyman. And he was being dominated by Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer was dominating him, and then in round 2, it looked like Patti might have landed some strikes on the inside as Pyfer was going for a takedown, and Joe Pyfer kind of allowed himself to be overwhelmed. I don't want to say he was even hurt, but it looked like he was a little overwhelmed, shot him for a takedown from a shitty position and got guillotined. That was, I think, 4 years ago at this point, and that's his only legitimate loss as a pro. He has been in the UFC for some time now. He hasn't beaten the best competition, aside from Mearshart, who's a very good fighter. But he's looked very good. He's steamrolled everybody. That guy, Ozzy Diaz, he steamrolled him on the Contender Series, or dominated him, really. Then he steamrolled Alan Amedovski and Gerald Mearshart in round 1. And then he beat Mearshart in grappling a few months ago. A few months after their fight. All the hypes with Joe Pyfer, and I think he's got a very high ceiling. Seems like he's a well-versed fighter, but he's particularly very dangerous on the feet, and he's a damn good, strong, solid athlete. And definitely a guy that's going to be kicking some ass in the future. He's here to stay. And Abdul Razak Alhassan, I don't know if he's here to stay, considering he's 38 years old, but I know when he does win, when he does have his good moments, most of the time it's going to be a knockout. And most of the time it's going to be in round 1. He's got 12 wins, 11 of them are round 1 knockouts, and the other one is under a minute into round 2. And it's a knockout. That was against Claudio Ribeiro. That was his last win, 30 seconds into round 2. Abdul Razak Alhassan is just danger personified. Pure danger. He's we've seen him crush some very good fighters. Nico Price, Alessio Di Chirico, that head kick. Saba Homasi twice, or once and a half. Abdul is pure danger. As far as his losses, he's been knocked out once. It was the Chaos Williams. Chaos knocked him out, whatever it was, 3 years ago. But that was a big shot right through the guard. And I thought that was the beginning of the end for Alhassan. At 35 years old or whatever he was at that point, suffering a knockout like that. But he has since returned, and he's hung in there. He's hung tough. He's got 4 other losses, and they're all by decision. He lost to Joaquin Buckley, Jacob Malkoun, Mounir Lazzez, and Omari Akhmedov way back when. That was a pretty tight fight, that Omari Akhmedov fight. Abdul Razak Alhassan, he's very damn durable in defeat, and nobody is very damn durable in defeat against him because they just can't stand up to his power. But here, I'm picking against him, to be honest. I just think Joe Pyfer has a lot more going for him. I know Abdul Razak Alhassan is not a total stranger on the ground. He's a judoka, and we've seen his grappling here and there. The Buckley fight, we got to see a little bit of it, but he's certainly not Damian Maia, and I do think he can be controlled on the ground, certainly pounded out. I think if Joe Pyfer is able to get any sort of an advantageous position on him, his physicality will be the difference maker, and it will take away any sort of pure grappling advantage that Abdul Razak Alhassan might have. And on the feet, definitely betting on Abdul Razak Alhassan via round 1 knockout. I already bet on it at plus 900. I mean, it's responsible for 11 of his 12 wins and almost 12 of 12. But Joe Pyfer, he's never been knocked out. He seems to be in pretty damn good health. You know, I don't know how his arm is doing, I guess. But Joe Pyfer, I think, on the feet, has a lot of power, and he's a bigger, stronger man. I can't say I'd favor him to get the first knockout, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. It's just Abdul Razak Alhassan's only been knocked out once. Out of everybody he's fought, just one guy's done it. And Abdul Razak Alhassan's been in there with some very good fighters. So, Joe Pyfer is straight up the pick. If I had a gun to my head, I'd say he gets the finish. And I'm not even sure it would be a clean knockout, if not more of a ground and pound situation. And even there, I don't know if Joe Pyfer is going to be advancing on him and winning the jiu-jitsu battle. You know, TKOing him from the full mount. I think it'll be from the ground, from the guard, you know, or whatever, standing over Abdul Razak Alhassan. So I'm taking Joe Pyfer. I guess I'd predict he's the second one to get a finish over Abdul Razak Alhassan, but that's really more bet on the danger and physicality of Joe Pyfer as opposed to the physical weakness or durability, or lack thereof, of Abdul Razak Alhassan. So Joe Pyfer's the pick, and the only one bet is a sprinkle on Abdul Razak Alhassan by round 1 knockout, because fuck, why not? Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.